And welcome back to the Hotline. We are talking Montoya's comments on Kimi Antonelli crashing more than a few times during testing. What does this mean for Kimi's 2025 season? Or is it a load of just aluminium put on your head conspiracy theorists? I guess we're going to have to see. So the story coming out is Jan Pablo Montoya is thinking that Kimi has crashed a lot. At least that's what he's heard. So, covering over 9,000 kilometres as he prepared for his debut F1 campaign, Montoya says he has heard that Kimi crashed a lot during his TPC programme, causing a lot of damage. Now, as we know, Antonelli joins the Formula 1 grid this season. He's replaced Lewis Hamilton. He's known as a wunderkind. And, well, he wasn't quite the wunderkind in F2. However, Prima weren't exactly hot on making their car fast. They had quite a few problems. Because let's be fair, Ollie Behrman, and we know he's good as well, because we have seen him in Formula 1. He was a bit average as well in F2. But did Kimi crash a lot in his programme? Well, the Italian has already been seen out on track in 2 Formula 1 sessions. He climbed in the cockpit of the Mercedes W15, that is the 2024 Mercedes, to cover the team's 2 young driver practice sessions during the 2024 season, which is something that all teams have to do. His debut didn't quite go according to plan, though. As we've already seen before in action at Monza, this whoops-a-daisy happened in the Parabolica, the final corner, and I think he just went in too fast, or his tyres were too hot, and kaplow, kaplunk, whatever way you want to look at it. It wasn't particularly good. This is the onboard from F1 2025. As you can see, we're using Twitter, and yeah, is it a loss of talent? Is it a loss of grip? Who knows? I mean, there you go. Kimi, all good, man. I mean, yeah. I mean, to be fair, it was really nice of Toto Wolff trying to, calm him down. But in action at Monza, he did go purple on that first flying lap, and was up on that. On his second, only to, as you just seen, lose the back end of the car. He crashed. The impact recorded 52G, but declared it was definitely a lesson learned for next time. Amen to the definitely a lesson learned for next time. So, but the issue is, I guess, has there been too much pressure put on Kimi Antonelli? Well, he didn't make the same mistake the next time out in the FP1, which was the Mexican Grand Prix. According to former F1 driver Montoya, Antonelli suffered a lot of crashes during his 9,000 kilometre plus TPC training. So it was the Colombian worried about Antonelli, how he's going to fare, especially in the early races of his Mercedes career. If you remember, he's coming in, he's replacing Lewis Hamilton. Everyone's like, you are the next big thing. I mean, you can make an argument that even Verstappen wasn't hyped as much as this going in. And the question is Antonelli used to always wanting to win? That's at least what the Colombian was talking about on a YouTube channel, on the AS Colombia YouTube channel. He said, and the rumours of what I've heard is that he's crashed a lot in tests. He has done a lot of damage. He's done a lot of damage because he wants to go fast. That was the thing in Monza. He wanted to go fast at Monza. Perhaps he went a bit too fast and over the edge. But but Montoya went on to say, yes, he might lose his mind at the beginning of the year because he's no longer racing against his teammates. Suddenly he had easy times before, but now he is going against someone who is better than what he has experienced before. And that better is George Russell, the man who beat Lewis Hamilton fairly handsomely last year. And the 3-time Grand Prix winner, he stepped into the role now of the lead driver at Mercedes, at least at the beginning of the year. No matter how good Kimi Antonelli is, when they start in Australia in those practice sessions, in the first qualifying session, I think it can be said that George Russell is very much the team leader. And Antonelli should spend the season, Montoya suggested, learning from George Russell, not trying to beat him necessarily. The car is built exactly to what George wants, and he is going to have a difficult time, Montoya continued. If he has the mentality of going out to stay behind George and learn from George, and if out of 24 races, or out of 20 or 24 races in 10, he gets ahead of George, then I think like Montoya, we can all consider that to be quite a good year. But if he wants to go out and dominate George, that's what Montoya is suggesting. Maybe he'll lose his head and the year will become complicated for him. And I think that's absolutely the right mentality. Go in trying to do the best. You Kimi Antonelli is Kimi Antonelli's best rival, I think, in his first year rather than anyone else. But Mercedes boss Toto Wolff previously touched on Antonelli's TC program when he revealed that the Italian has completed around 9,000 kilometres in Formula One cars. He, however, went on to call Antonelli's performances good test results, in a warning to shareholders and Mercedes fans not to expect the 18-year-old to put his car on pole position or podium on the debut. I also think a lot is going to factor in relation to how good that Formula One car for Mercedes actually is. And he said, if you expect him to be on pole position in Melbourne, win the race, immediately compete for the championship, then the risk is high because that won't happen, he added. He could. I mean, that's the thing. If you remember going back to Lewis Hamilton, 2007, it did. He did fight for the championship because as good as Lewis was, he was very talented, like we believe Kimi Antonelli to be. And it was a perfect storm of, it was a very good car. Yes, Lewis had a very good teammate, but so does Kimi. So if we take the approach, not Montoya, Toto Wolff carried on saying, that the boy is 18 years old, very talented, but of course he has to grow into it first and will make mistakes. Then the risk is limited. That's why we're doing it. We see 2025 as a transition year and want to prepare him from 2026. 2026 is the year that Mercedes think they're going to be very, very good. The issue is there's no evidence as such of all these crashes. Now, in what I thought was quite interesting, though, in December of 2024, Mercedes responded to rumours that Kimi Antonelli has quite a lot of crashes in private test. He made his first official F1 appearance, as you know, it says it at the Italian Grand Prix, and within 10 minutes he was in the barriers. Mercedes later came to regret their decision, unleashing Antonelli in front of his home crowd. I don't think they should have done. I think it was Kimi should have regretted it, really, not Mercedes. But it said he pushed extremely hard. We got the impact. Martin Brundle called Antonelli the luckiest driver ever. And he also said, I admire his confidence. This is what Martin Brundle said about his first test. But he needed to play himself in somewhat more carefully than that. And yeah, I completely agree with Brundle there. But it remains to be seen whether the incident has damaged his confidence. I don't think it did when you look back at Mexico. So Mercedes insists Kimi Antonelli, though, had only one crash in test before the 2025 debut. And in addition to his FP1 opportunities, Mercedes are obliged to run a young driver in these sessions at least twice per season. And according to a former Formula One commentator, James Allen, speaking on his Autosport podcast, he's been mind-blowingly fast in those runs. One report claimed Antonelli even outpaced Russell over a long run at Silverstone. Wow. And if that's the case, that's mega. But doing it in practice and doing it in the race are completely different things. Are we excited about Kimi Antonelli? Yes, absolutely we are. And if you're excited too, please give us a subscribe. If you made it to the end and you're not subscribed, hit that button. Everyone, I would definitely really appreciate that. But until then, just clicking on our video and listening to it is amazing. Making it to the end is amazingly awesome. And I just want to say thank you so much. So, on that note then, Kimi Antonelli, we are very excited. But until then, speak to you soon. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.